We're starting a new chapter now in our AutoCAD Essential course, and what we're going to look at now is getting you started with annotating some simple AutoCAD designs. Now you'll notice we've got a new drawing for you. It's called annotation.dwg, and as usual you can download that from the website to follow along with the videos in this chapter. Now this particular drawing, the annotation.dwg drawing, is showing a little bolting plate with 3 holes in it. And what we're going to do is we're going to annotate that with some text and some dimensions to make it into a simple design where we're communicating our design intent by way of providing the appropriate annotation. People need to know how big the holes are, how big the plate is, and so on. Now, the first thing you need when you're setting up annotation, especially text in AutoCAD, is you need to look at your text styles. Now, you'll notice in the Layers panel there, in the Home tab on the ribbon, we're already in the text layer. So if you're not in the text layer, make sure you select it from the drop-down like so. Now, we're not going to place any text yet. What we're going to do is we're going to set up an appropriate text style. Now you can get to this in 2 ways. You can use the Home tab on the ribbon, click on the flyout here on the annotation panel, and there's your text style icon there. Or you can go to the Annotate tab on the ribbon, into the text panel here, and see this little diagonal arrow here. If you click there, that also opens up the text style dialog box. So I'll just cancel that now. I'm going to go back to the Home tab. That's my preference because I've then got things like Draw and Modify available as well if I need them. I'm going to click on the flyout here and select my text style icon, and that opens up the text style dialog box. Now, you'll notice you've got some default text styles in there already. You've got standard and annotative. Now, don't worry about annotative. We'll cover annotative scaling later on in the course. We're just going to utilize the standard text style for the moment, which currently uses the font Arial. Now, you'll notice the little TT next to it. That means it's a true type font. So you've got things like Arial, Verdana, Times New Roman. Basically, anything you've got in Windows, which is obviously your operating system, you should be able to get in AutoCAD as well, all those true type fonts. Now, the font name that I'm going to select is going to be Verdana. Now, when I click on that pull-down menu there, can you see it lists all of the fonts? Now, if I want Verdana, that's right down near the bottom of the alphabet. If I just type V on the keyboard, can you see there? It takes me to the first font that begins with V. If I press V again, can you see it's going down the list, so I can pick whichever one. I'm going to select Verdana, which has got me there nice and quickly. And my font style, I'm going to change it to italic. And you'll notice that changes in the little preview bottom left. Now, I don't want it to be annotative because I'm placing the text in the Model tab in AutoCAD. So I don't need that to be annotative, and I'm going to leave the height at 0, so AutoCAD will always prompt me for the height of my text that I place in the drawing. Now, I've got some really cool effects with text as well, especially in my text styles. I can make the text upside down, I can have it backwards, I can change the width factor to say 0.5, and you'll notice that everything changes. I can flip that back the other way, and oblique angle, I can change that to say 45 degrees, and it obliques it over at 45 degrees. Now, the width factor there, I'm going to set that back to 1, and the oblique angle, I'm going to set it back to 0, so that I've got my regular Verdana italic font again. Now, I'm going to apply that as a new style. I don't want to change the standard one because what I'm doing at the moment is I'm changing the standard one. So just click on cancel there to make sure that you don't change one of your default text styles, and then go back to annotation and click on text style again. What you want to do, if you want to change a text style, set up a new one. Click on new like that, and then we'll call it something like, let's say, training, for example. And I'll click on OK. Then we go back to the Verdana, like so. Change it to italic, and then we've got a separate text style. Don't ever change your default ones because you never know when you might need them. So again, height 0, annotative unticked. I'm not going to worry about any of the effects, and I'm going to apply that. Then I can select it from the list, set it as the current text style, like so, and then close the dialog box. Notice there's no OK. You close it. And then if I go to the flyout here, can you see now that I'm using training as my current text style? click on the flyout there. I've also got annotative and standard, but I want training. The nice thing is you get a nice little preview. If you want to manage your text styles, click there, takes you back to the text style dialog box. I'll just click on cancel to close that. So we've now set up our default text style. We're now ready to start thinking about placing text in our AutoCAD drawing.